Mike's up. Studio is live.
Lagos City, good morning to you. It is Money Monday here on Business Express on Smooth 98.1 FM. I am Rotus. Good morning again. I am joined by Mr. Emmanuel from ARM. Emmanuel, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Go ahead. Try that good morning again.
Hey, good morning.
There he is. There he is. There he is. All right. So, Emmanuel, welcome. Lagos,
Yeah.
you know the drill. Do send your messages 0809 444 0981. Also, we are streaming live on YouTube, youtube.com/smooth91fm. And also, be on our website, all right, www.smooth91.fm. Follow us on Twitter at smooth91fm. All social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, everything. We want to see your presence there. Emmanuel, where do we begin? Shall we start with this discussion we had over the weekend about Nigeria's foreign reserves? Yeah, and the import bill, and whether we can hold up in the year 2020, because I don't know if a lot of people realize, that it seems like a larger portion of what what our FX is used for is for services.
That's utilization of FX.
Yeah. Exactly, as opposed to goods. Can we talk about that for a moment here?
Okay, so basically, what really drives demand for FX is when one imports goods into the country, or when one imports or services. So when I mean services, I'm referring to professional services, educational services, even and medical related services. So what we observed over the recent past few quarters now is that we've been seeing the services deficit on our current account balance has been increasing rapidly. It's been increasing rapidly.
Yeah, yeah.
And by the time you combine these with the lower foreign inflows into the country,
Yeah.
that's been putting a lot of pressures in terms of an FX reserve. As at last Friday, I think our FX reserve closed at about $38.8 billion.
Okay.
For us, we see the FX reserve closing the end of first half 2020 at about $35 billion. And this is even excluding a possible Eurobond issuance that might happen.
Okay.
So for each one, we believe the CBN will be fine to continue to intervene in the several markets. They'll continue to support the naira. But what we feel we're beginning to see more pressure is towards the second half of next year. What we're expecting lower inflows, possibility of lower oil price, and also this rising services deficits. Altogether, I would just expect that to just put more pressure on the CBN over the second half of next year.
Yeah. And the thing is, and thank you for that. We don't really see that much emphasis from the government or from the talking heads in the government when we talk about the import bill. There seems to be this push on it's goods more. They don't really talk about services much.
There's little they can actually do, because if they decide to place a ban on sales of FX for most of these things,
yeah,
we're beginning to see more pressure on the black market parallel rates, which we don't go well.
Right.
So the only area they could actually make some works is that's for the imports. So we've seen the CBN come up to place a ban on import of some certain items, like the 41 items, then the make. However, you can't do that basically for most of these services.
Right.
And actually, they comprise a very large portion of the deficits that we're seeing in our current account balance right now.
Yeah, I think I remember I even talked about it on Thursday. The imports in FX used for invisibles. I think it was the largest portion of what they brought in. So anyway, yeah. So Lagos, do keep this in mind when we're having these discussions about the pressure on imports. Please keep services in mind. The medical tourism,
you have medical tourism,
education, all
professional fees,
the experts we bring in here, and all those.
Exactly.
Let's keep that in mind. So again, I'm tired of asking this question, but look, while this is the last Monday edition of Business Express for 2019. By this time next week we'll be in a new year. Emmanuel, again, is the big D word. Is this? Some people are certain, some folks I've been talking to privately are certain that devaluation will happen in the first quarter of next year. We cannot keep up. The pressure on central bank is too much. I've asked you this before, I know, I'm sorry. But again, do you think it will happen in the new year? What do you think the central bank can keep up this pressure?
For each one, they'll definitely keep it up. They'll do that. I'm quite sure they'll do that.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure, because the central bank, the CBN governor even mentioned at the point that before we see any devaluation is when we see the FX reserve going below
Below
about $30 billion.
$30 billion.
And by high estimates, I haven't seen the FX reserve closing the first half by $35 billion.
Mm,
And this is even excluding a possible Eurobond issuance that would most likely see even if not in Q1 then in Q2 2020.
interesting.
Yeah, so that would just even give more support to this event. But H2 2020, that's when now we're gonna expect some pressure in terms of excuse me,
Yeah.
on the FX reserve.
It's going to be a very, very interesting year. Thank you for that. Okay, Emma is calling me to order here. It says, "Good morning, Rotus. Please share with the Business Express community in less than 100 words where you were last Tech Friday. Please use Roman time, single spacing, and font size." So very funny, Emma. I apologize. Yeah, Lagos. I had some car trouble. I had some car trouble on Friday. I blame lack of electricity. I had to charge my phone in my car, and then I forgot, left my car open, drained my battery, and then early morning I woke up, couldn't start the car, and couldn't get any Ubers or Bolts to get to the station. So I apologize for that. Let's see now. Ifeanyi is here with a message. What's Ifeanyi saying now? Rotus, devaluation is good in that it makes our exports cheap and imports expensive. Well,
it also has other implications.
Right, of course it does.
PMS.
Right, exactly. Do you think? Oh, speaking of PMS, you think they will deregulate in the new year? There's so many questions that are coming for this.
There are a lot of uncertainty about and all this thing, which I don't. For me, I don't know honestly. You can't say for sure.
Many people, I think we even had messages on this on Thursday. When the CBN announced the reduction in fees for ATM, reduction in transfer fees, they've now put out this new post that the 50 naira POS is illegal. This sudden reduction in all the fees. Some people were speculating that they are doing all this because they are preparing. We're laughing. We shouldn't be laughing. No, they are preparing us for something massive in the new year. So we'll see what happens. Fred is asking what kind of phone drains the car battery. Fred, I left the car open now. You guys free me. Okay, Yinka, Rotus, how does this border closure tie into this echo single currency blues and the French connection? I came across a funny conspiracy theory over this. No, I wouldn't tie into that. Border closure and the echo currency, the francophone countries come together. Now, interesting theory, but no, Yinka, I wouldn't buy into that. Let's see here. What other messages? Please add your names to your messages, please. I'm seeing a question here on Dangote's share buyback, but do add your name to your messages and your questions here. Benga Kamu, what do we think of Obasanjo's admonition that Nigeria is heading for bankruptcy? Well, Benga, thanks for that question. This bankruptcy thing, a lot of people have been saying it, right? But you know, it's an alarmist thing, but I really wouldn't. We owe money. There's a deficit. We're still borrowing. Exactly. So Nigeria is not. Technically speaking, we're not bankrupt now, right? Yeah, it's just
you still keep on supporting it.
Well, exactly. It's just rhetoric. Okay. So what else do we jump? Let's jump into this the COO of Air Peace. Okay. Something very interesting, Emmanuel, that I heard. Lagos, please. For those of you that fly domestically, I want you to chime in on this here. So, the Air Peace Chief Operating Officer, Oluwatoyin Olajide, called on the federal government to ban foreign airlines operating domestically in Nigeria. That is, foreign airlines flying domestically within Nigeria. She said here, while speaking in Lagos, that the federal government should stop allowing foreign carriers to operate domestic flights because of competition and a number of other things. Emmanuel, what do you think? I was a little perplexed because
the first question we should ask ourselves is how many foreign airlines we have operating domestically.
Yeah, I don't remember which Lagos. Has anybody flown a foreign airline? Maybe the Ghanaian airline, AWA. But even then, I cannot think of any foreign airline that flies domestically in Nigeria.
I'm not sure of any.
I'm lost in this.
I'm not sure of any. Maybe foreign operations.
Yeah.
Fine. But for domestic operations, I don't think there are any foreign. Even for foreign operations, we still don't have the capacity. Most of our domestic airlines we still don't have the capacity to operate in terms of foreign airline operations. Still have them around.
Quite a ways to go. All right. So yeah, if any one of you, I'm wondering about what she meant by that, because honestly, I cannot remember the last time I used a foreign airline to fly within Nigeria. Okay. Darlington here. Good morning. This devaluation thingy might happen in H1 of the new year. Mephi, as Darlington loves to call in. Again, Mephi is Mr. Godwin Emefiele. It's a funny nickname that popped up. Shout out to Double F on Twitter. Murphy needs to announce it beforehand. The FX reserve cannot sustain this conspiracy. Darlington has been steadfast in his his position on devaluation. He continuously says it's going to happen. Let's see now. Kufre, this is from Kufre. Morning Rotos. I wanted to know what remedies we could take should one of the fintech companies that accept deposits fold up. Ha! Could the CBN get involved?
I think the CBN has given them some requirements.
Yeah.
Giving them some requirements also the same with banks.
If they it's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they fold up,
So most of them are meant to be regulated by the CBN, and for them to be regulated, they should have certain requirements
to operate. Yeah, but if they fold up, they fold up. It's it's essentially the risk you take of investing in with any of these companies. By the way, the reduction in the rates for OMO, which has now cascaded into fixed income risk, how long do you think some of these fintech companies can hold up? Your carry wises, your pay laters, and so on. They've been offering some higher rates now.
Why I see most of them now doing? They've been trying to do some alternative investments, some of them saying invest in transport, invest in agri farming or so.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of mutual and the TBs where they do invest, I don't see much.
They have to adjust.
They have to definitely adjust. They can't keep up with that.
Exactly.
So I've been seeing that already. I get some notifications from them, asking you to invest in some other investment options.
Yeah. In fact, this is a really good time to bring this up. I mentioned this on Thursday, and I know I was going to talk about it on Friday on Tech Friday. I wasn't here, but ARM. I understand that you folks made an equity investment in Trove, which is one of those fintech companies. I don't know if there's much details you can share with us, but what's behind that?
The idea behind that is that Trove just offers a platform whereby we from Nigerians we can actually invest in stocks in the US.
Okay.
You can invest on stocks listed on NYM, the New York Stock Exchange, as well as the Nasdaq. If you look at the markets in those places are quite different from quite far different from our market.
Okay.
And as at now, there's no platform where we can invest in those stocks outside Nigeria due to the requirements they ask for. What Trove is now doing is that Trove is giving us a platform whereby you're in Nigeria, and while you are investing in stocks in Nigeria, you can also invest in our stocks
overseas.
Okay,
so you're now offering that to ARM clients.
Exactly, to ARM clients.
And look, I think for fintech companies to gain market share, to increase their influence here, it's a good idea for them to be partnering with brokerage services and others.
Exactly.
So it's interesting. I know CarryWise has a couple of interesting, it's the same arrangement with some other brokerage firms. Okay, with the message that came in earlier, it's from Wahid Bello. He said, please ask your analysts about the possible effect of Dangote Cement share buyback. Share buybacks, that's one, they're reducing their outstanding shares now. Yeah, that's generally. But I haven't heard of any Dangote Cement possibly doing a share buyback though.
It was a few weeks later. Yeah, I saw that on the.
But pretty much the impact though is just your metrics look good. You are reducing your shares outstanding essentially. Yeah, and that's
nothing to change in terms of
pretty much heavy as far as the stock is concerned. Okay, in fact, speaking of stocks. We haven't talked, Emmanuel. Are there any? What the best performing stock this year? I believe it was CNI Leasing. Was it not? I think it was.
Technically, no. I was saying no because.
Who was the best performing stock?
Technically, I was saying no because CNI, they did some share reconstruction.
Okay.
So that's just
made things better for them.
Things look as if. So,
but still,
technically, stocks that gained the highest, highest performance this year. Most of them had a case of. There was a acquisition or the likes.
Right.
Acquisition of the likes. So,
but how are you guys feeling for stocks in the
for 2020?
Emmanuel is shaking his head. Who's watching?
Okay, so for me, what I would say is that just continue to play in terms of fundamental stocks. For the banking sectors, I'll prefer Zenith Bank. I prefer GT. I prefer UBA, as well as Fidelity Bank. Even if we don't see much of price appreciation for most of those stocks, we definitely get a solid dividends from those stocks that I just mentioned. Now.
Okay.
Then in the cement sectors, we still like Danksem. In the consumer market, I would still prefer Nestle. So the idea for me now is
A
just
few
to
select stocks. That you still
exactly
like,
that's
yeah.
fundamental stocks and you get some good dividends from it.
Okay, okay. And again, remember, please, before making any or acting on any recommendations that you hear on the show, do consult a brokerage service like an ARM before any of that. But it's very interesting with stock. It's still down, what, 15% this year, the stock market. Okay, Dotun here says, good morning. On 2 occasions, my local flight was made by foreign aircraft, not branded by the local airline. It says, although he's not going to mention any names. That's very interesting.
That could be all these agents that book.
Possibly, right? Because again, I still have not seen any, foreign airlines operating domestically here. Let's see, John. If you have used an airline more than once, it pays to obtain a frequent flyer card. It doesn't cost anything, but it helps in a very cost situation. Okay, yes, frequent flyer miles. But then, how many of these airlines even provide frequent flyer miles? It's very rare, but that's very good advice from John for people who fly a lot frequently. Let's see. Okay, this is from Obilo. It says, good morning, guys. I'm sure the AirPCO knows what she's saying. Who are these Middle Eastern guys operating? Okay, well, I don't know. There seems to be some. Okay, Obilo mentioned this, and I think the prior message, it was a prior message saying that one of our airlines is using foreign airlines and branding them as domestic. Yeah, it's again. I haven't. Thank you for the messages, though. I still haven't quite seen. I still haven't seen this, but if you're mentioning it, for me, it's something I need to look into. Okay, Ayo is back with the air traffic control signal, saying I've got it by minutes. Real quick, the data breach, LIRS. I know there was a platform that they put out there with regards to tax payments, which was displayed a lot of people's tax information. I know they quickly scrubbed it, and they made an announcement as an investigation. How at risk do you think we are with our information with our systems?
It's a very big risk because you have vital information of tax people there, which you could see some people take advantage of that and come up with one or the other.
Yeah, because I put my name in, my address popped up, and I won't lie, it was very funny. People started putting names of Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu to see what they're paying in taxes. But Lagos, the key thing here is that the Lagos state government has removed it. They're investigating it, but it's a conversation we have to have about how secure our data information is out there. All right, Emmanuel from ARM. Yeah. I guess the next time I'll see you is 2020.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for all your analysis in 2019 from ARM on the Business Express show. Again, all our listeners out there, I didn't get to all your messages. We'll continue tomorrow. I believe tomorrow is our last day. Aya's waving me. I have to get off air. Okay, sorry, I'm going. Thank you for tuning to Business Express. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's the last. Tomorrow's the last day of the year.
Yeah,
tomorrow's the last day of the year. Okay.
Yeah.